Alright. Hello, everyone. Alright. Ah, I can hear myself. Ah. Okay. Today, I will be casting the match between names Caster Curse and TK Gaming. Yes, I remembered. Hard to remember. Welcome, everyone. Should be in for a pretty decent series. Believe, or at least I think I've seen TK Gamers play a match. Not sure. I forget. My memory's foggy. But we are in the custom lobby. Just waiting for... there's the spectator link. Good. Alright. Does look like Caster Curse will be starting on blue side this time around. And TK Gamer on red. As we await the draft to begin. Looks like there may be one member we're still waiting on. Alright, apparently it seems that it is Caster Curse's top laner that we are waiting on. But the draft will be starting in 3 minutes. And they'll just have to deal with what they're given at that point, was the decision from CLT. So they'll probably be in for a surprise. Not sure what to go off on, with nothing given at this point. Maybe I'll look up the teams, if I can find where the information is located. And I can't find where the information is located. Alright, looks like Caster Curse's 5th member has arrived, so the draft should be starting up here very shortly. Hope you guys are all staying safe from the snowstorm. I know there's like about 6 inches where I am. You want to not see Tahm Kench? Wow. How unfair. The champion. Looks like the draft is underway. Yorick first ban. Champ can always be a terror if he gets away. Even if behind, the constant split push presence that he has. Followed by a Bel'Veth ban. An underutilized champion, I feel. One of the heavier snowballers that doesn't... or that has more than just upfront damage to work around, but heavy macro force. Well, I guess... would it be macro that it kind of helps? Because, like... there's not much thought into the swarm accrual of Bel'Veth. And there is yet again the first pick blue side Vincent. As I feel almost every single match that I've casted where he wasn't banned has been Jinx and Caitlyn bans in as well. Plus the, you know, Darius and Jarvan, which went unmentioned. The Jarvan ban, I believe, was I forget who Jarvan was a pick against. I want to say Gwen, but I'm not entirely certain. Or was it Lilia? Maybe? Might have been Lilia. I think it was like Lilia Jarvan beats Lilia, Lilia beats Graves, and Graves beats Jarvan or something of the sort. Alright, there's the Morgana Ashe for TK Gamers. We will see which role that Morgana will be taken after a few more picks here. As she can flex into jungle and the not very often seen mid. As Caster Curse goes for the Neeko, aka the more modernized Morgana in her current state, with a lot more AoE damage, a lot more range, and about as strong of a root, so long as there's targets in front of her that can also hit multiple people. And Wukong being the last pick for Caster Curse's first round. Responded to with... that could either be a top or jungle, more than likely. Neeko is also kind of up. Alright, we're gonna have a Jace top for TK. Or mid. A lot of flex picks. Oh, I didn't change it. I'm sorry. Wait, did I change it? Wait. Oh my god. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I forgot to fix that. Ah! Okay, there. I am so sorry. Alright, next round of picks. K'Sante and Corki. The next man going to Grokkus. Preceded by Sejuani for the final ban, as we are headed into figuring out where these champions, TK Gamers, are going to be playing. The champions they've picked are going to be playing. Because there is so much flex potential there. Opting for the Seraphine. Still don't know who's going where. Answered to with... I would assume that Seraphine would probably be going mid. But it is a tough call. Because it could be Morgana jungle, Ashe support, and Seraphine bot or something. Or Seraphine bot, Ashe support. Alright, got the Anivia pick for caster, which might indicate Victor going bot side. And a Maokai. Honestly, nice to see Anivia. Haven't really seen her used much, despite being pretty strong, but I guess Aurelion Sol kind of took what she offered. And, you know, became more snowbally with it. And there's the Gwen pick. Alright, I really want the real draft to start so that I could see exactly who is going where, because honestly I can't make any observations from this point. Cause there's like gold allocation to consider, there's CS to consider, or well, not CS, but map presence from junglers and the power they provide to consider. And I need to see where it's headed. And because that pre-draft is a bit unhelpful, I will just move it to the to this portion to make it a bit more level ground for everyone, as we will be shown what is where. Getting rid of the layering audio. Even though old music is better. Maybe I should just mute the in-client audio so that it won't be layered that way. Maybe that would... Alright, so that will be a Maokai into Gwen top. Morgana jungle. Into Wukong. Alright, now it's the hardest to deduce stuff. Alright, so there's the Anivia in mid. That means it will be a Victor in the bot with Neeko. Oh, that sounds painful. You get hit by any of their CC and you're basically dead. Although Victor will kind of run a lot in the bot, I feel. Right, maybe. Jace mid, so that means we will indeed be seeing Ashe and Seraphine in the bot lane, but it's a matter of who will be the carry and who will be the support. I mean, I guess you could have a support Victor for blue side with the Neeko carry, but I find that's a bit unlikely. Just a bit. Alright, and it will be a Seraphine support. Ashe at the very least, well, Ashe and Seraphine at the very least do have some protection into the Neeko. You know, since volley is not ignored by minions, granted Neeko can kind of shrink her hitbox to avoid some a bit better. Okay, but at the very least, we can look up matchups at this point. So I'm not sure how the Maokai and Gwen matchup is, but I want to think that Maokai probably has just a bit of an upper hand, so long as, or at least in the early game. Mid to late, I find it kind of hard to see how he'll be able to deal with Gwen, provided she is allowed to, you know, scale at all. The reason I feel like he'd probably be okay in lane is that he should be able to avoid most of her Q damage thanks to Twisted Advance. Has plenty of innate sustain. Plus the hybrid magic and physical damage provided by himself and the Wukong should provide ample amount of hybrid damage threat to Gwen, making it harder for her to itemize against. Wukong also does have relatively instant hard CC, and Maokai being very good to set up, provided with his click CC itself, which I don't think that Gwen is able to cancel with her W, but not certain. I don't think I've seen the interaction enough to know. The Morgana into Wukong jungle, not quite sure how that will end up. However, Anivia is fairly immobile. Jay says relatively moderate damage, so you could probably see some stuff happening in there. Or in the mid lane. Jace should be relatively comfy in the early game for farming. Might become problematic later on when Anivia will be able to just kind of zone him. Depends on how, or if a lead is gained or not, depending, kind of depends on how much pressure his itemization will provide him and threat to Anivia's health bar with any poke that he might get out, if there is any, or whether he'll decide to roam instead. For the bot lane, it's very dangerous for the Ashen Seraphine just because of how much damage Neeko's able to output on her own. Coupled that with the extended CC duration provided by Victor could spell very dangerously for Ashen Seraphine. However, they do have a lot more range than Victor and Neeko do. Plus, the level 6 is possibly even more dangerous to the Victor and Neeko than their pre-level 6 is to the Ashen Seraphine. Considerable amount of distance that they could gain, although once again, Neeko is able to dodge the Ashe ult, I believe, with her, transforming. Should not be able to avoid Seraphine's hard CC though, which does mean that their lane check should be a bit safer, hopefully. But we will see how things go as we move on into the game here. All in all, I want to say that Caster Curse probably has the safer scaling into the mid-late. However, the lack of physical damage might come to hurt them eventually. However, their opponents are not particularly durable champions, which means that it is probably unlikely that we will see Caster Curse struggle against high magic resist being built against them. But we'll see where things go. Yes, they did let Anivia in. It does. There isn't a lot, other than Maokai, and I guess Wukong, there isn't, or well, it is mostly Maokai. They don't have a lot of, or Caster Curse doesn't have a lot of very dedicated lockdown to go against the Gwen. Like, yeah, Wukong can knock her up, but Maokai is the only one that's actually able to catch up to her, and if he's not close enough to her, his ultimate is going to be kind of pointless in that regards. And if she gets ahead, she is going to be very devastating to deal with. She is not running Ghost at the very least, so there is that saving grace for Caster Curse. But
this is what the future looks like.
how any of that all goes depends on the players themselves. Once again, letting Directed Cam do its thing as we see how the early game is going to be handled here. Bit of dancing in the mid. Got some aggressive pinging. I does place TK Gamers in a very communication advantage position with all this aggressive positioning or pinging thus far. Works very much in their favor.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I am very much aware of how gross Seraphina Nash is, but that is a Neeko, and I feel that Neeko damage can be a bit more stupid at times. The Seraphina Ashe largely, I believe, depends on Ashe volleys being successful for the Seraphine to echo off of for the stuns. But you land one Neeko root and like a third of your health bar is gone early on. Nice Q from Menivia, giving herself. She wasn't able to proc the electrocute. The sad timings of a slow attack speed. Ashe already down a third of her health. Victor as well. Q missed. Alright, look at the jungle situation at this point. Wukong decided to get his red buff last. That is interesting. Was it on a ward, perhaps? Actually, yeah, he snuck past that ward. Alright, Morgana will be working her way towards the bot side while Wukong is heading towards the top. I feel like he wants to try and give Maokai an advantage to be a bit more comfortable early on. Ooh, unfortunate. Mist Cannon live. Well, semi-live. Ooh, Gwen coming in here. Put some pressure onto Wukong. Got the vision, so she knows when she'll be in danger. Seraphine taking a lot of hurt there. The power of Neeko early. Still plenty of mana for her to work around. Everyone's still level 2. Gwen's playing a bit safe, not wanting to get too aggressive because she has an inkling that Wukong is sitting up there. Kind of afraid to look up top because of how volatile this bot lane is going to be. Victor getting the poke off. Does look like Wukong is making his move. Fair amount of damage being off-put into the Gwen. Will get hit by the slow. Does still have Flash active. For the Q, did hold on to Flash. So, Anivia, egg came out. Kind of want to see how that happened. Morgana coming from behind again. Anivia, very slow target. Quite easy to bind. Morgana menacingly walks up to apply pressure. Gets the Anivia flash. And, yo, kill going to Jace. Quite nice. As the bot lane for CC, attempting to make their aggressive play here. Does not manage to pay off well. Ashe and Seraphine looking to be in a pretty good spot. Able to keep their distance from this point. Morgana opting to take those camps that Wukong stalled on, as Wukong himself does a bit of a nuisance play upon Jace. Okay, looks like TK Gamers will be backing off as they had a bit of issue successfully crashing the lane. As Victor and Neeko will be taking a reset here. He does have plenty gold for his book. Don't think he needed to stay for that minion. As a bit of a squabbles popping up against the Gwen. Or between the Gwen and Maokai. There comes the Twisted Advance into the Q, avoiding most of the damage, but I think he still got hit by one of them. However, takes a massive chunk right there. Ooh. That's the pain of dealing with Gwen. She gets a single good Q on you and a fourth of your health is gone. And she heals a lot of it back. Just hit level 6. That is heavy kill threat onto Maokai at this point. With Morgana rounding up the side. Binding landed. That should be a dead Maokai. When taking 2 tower shots, however, in return. Maokai does have his teleport, so maybe that was a good death. We'll see. Ah, nah. His wave's pushing out. It would have been an exceptional play for the Gwen, even if she did die there, if Maokai's teleport hadn't been up. But unfortunate. Not going to be too much of a loss on his end, but Gwen does still get gold, so. There comes the root cleanse, followed up by ample damage from Wukong. Oh, unfortunate. As here comes Jace for the kill. Turning on to Victor, who should be going down. Very unfortunate. Wukong should have held off that last attack that provided an tower aggro unto him. He was in a pretty clear situation to back off at that point. Very unfortunate. As Maokai will catch out Morgana taking the scuttle, but she doesn't seem to be perturbed. Does have smite up. Alright. Already about a 2k gold lead for TK Gamers at this point. When just a slight lead. However, their gold is mostly the same. Their backs were on relatively even ground. Maokai does have himself a potion, but, you know, Gwen heals herself a lot. Bot lane recalls. Victor did get his book, but Ashe got her tier 2 boots. Opting for Zerks instead of Swiftness. Oh, does take that route. Fortunately, Neeko already cast her Q, so there wasn't much to be gained on top of that. Ashe ult is almost ready, halfway to that level 5. Funnily enough, Seraphine hit level 6 beforehand. Pun unintended. As it does seem like there's going to be a dragon play going on here. Or at least pressure for it. Avoided the Neeko route. Here comes the Seraphine ultimate. Catches the Neeko as she goes down very quickly to that Q. Our Victor ultimate doing some major damage to Ashe to take her out. Wukong goes down shortly afterwards. 2 for 1, but your AD carry died, so it's a bit sad, TK. Victor does not have teleport available to him. Decides that he should be safe enough to get the CS with his opponents on the dragon. But you have to go a bit faster than that. You don't want to have to worry about the last hits too much. You just want the lane to be able to crash. Otherwise, you're not going to be in a great position even after a win like that. As Seraphine will hold it and make his recall even worse. Oof. Jace coming over for a dive potentially. But Gwen's not in a good position to actually shove the wave under the turret. Will she survive? Nope, Wukong came in from the rear. Maokai is low. Kill will be going to Jace. 1 for 1. The jungler intervention versus the mid laner intervention. Gold still mostly unmoved. Still a bit in TK's favor. But looking at where the gold is held, yeah, Jace has gold, that's good. Bot laners are relatively even, that's fair. However, Ashe has not had a moment to spend some of that yet. But that's okay. Her damage is going to be actually a fair amount behind, unfortunately for her, because Victor did get his first item completed. So his damage is going to be a bit on the high side. Neeko opting for magic penetration early. Wait, okay. Neeko not having finished her support item yet. Gwen going very aggressive on the Maokai, who takes a fair chunking despite Twisted Advance. Pretty fair damage on the Q. We'll see how it heals back up here in a sec. Ooh, there's some posturing for the Void Grubs. Didn't notice the first set of Void Grubs actually went to TK Gamers. My bad for missing that earlier. Maokai going aggressive onto the Gwen, trying to prevent her from actually contributing towards the Grubs, but nearly dead at this point as Seraphine is catching out the Anivia as Gwen kills the Maokai. Looks like Anivia will be going down here as Wukong is also taken a death to the Jason Gwen. However, Nico and Victor just walking their way up, getting a kill. Here comes the Ash Arrow. Victor gonna be going down. That is a full stun duration. Beautiful arrow from Bori. Bread team working very hard. Substantial gold lead obtained. Lots of rune progress. Egg gone. Victor lead shall be lost here momentarily once Ashe finishes her recall and heads on back. That is definitely enough gold to buy a couple more components. I think it was the Cull holding back a completed purchase. Ooh, avoided the flash beautifully, CLT. Alright, looks like we are going to have a 3v3 on the bot here as Wukong gets caught out. Cannot move to the Morgana and Seraphine. Ugh. And Morg trying to push her luck even more. Her Q goes through the clone, oddly enough. I'm pretty sure the clone is not intangible, but oh well. Maokai managing to take a bit of hurt from the Q. Not being too bad comparatively. Thankfully, he does have the sustain to help him a fair bit. Ooh. Definitely taking a lot more hurt than he can heal. As this bot lane matchup gets more and more volatile, there comes the flash ult from Nico. However, Ashe does cleanse away from the root. Out comes the Seraphine ultimate, gets away from the Victor ultimate. Victor should be going down here. Unsure of Nico's status, however, as Morgana will not be able to catch for the binding. And Maokai is actually getting very fair trades up here, despite being 2 levels behind the Gwen. Nivea did try to walk up, does see the Vision Ward. Nico's health, and Gwen's health is falling behind actually quite a bit. Surprising how well Ella is handling this lane. Doesn't want to let her get a health return. She is sitting on 1,000 gold, does possibly want to help out somewhere on the map. Does get the River Fruit, making it a bit more healthy to stay around. However, enemy jungler should be working his way up sometime soon, perhaps? But Morgana will likely be matching, considering. Alright, 3 ult come out shortly. Owl flashes away, survives the needle work. Opts for the recall, does have Unleashed Teleport active. Will be back in time for the Wukong and Seraphine, as Seraphine does look. Alright, Wukong will be coming in. Knows that Gwen does not have ultimate available, or does flash. Cannot get the recast knock up, as Gwen will walk out safely. Wukong taking a lot of hurt here. Will go down to the Seraphine. As Ashe facing up against Victor now. Does have her Kraken Slayer finally. Ooh. Fair bit of hurt. Doesn't have sustain outside of the Doran's blade. Actually, I forgot to show runes. Yep. Legend Alacrity. Ooh, nice arrow. Unfortunately, not under the tower, but will be enough for her to get the kill. Will she get out alive? Indeed she does. As her allies are in a good position to take the Rift Herald, and she is in a very comfy state herself. Going to be picking up a lot of gold. protecting her tower. Gwen is immune. Gwen is immune. Not to terrain, though. Maokai not in a great spot. Does get knocked out of the Seraphine Echo E, unfortunately. But gets out with his life. Unfortunately for TK. Gwen looking to apply hard pressure towards that bot lane tower. Does not have teleport up at this point. Does feel like she can put herself into a strong position against the Victor. Let's let Directed Cam handle stuff for a brief moment. Biggest issue with the CC draft is their 2 carry champs are very good versus opponents walking into them. Really all the opposing team is about staying at arm's length. True, outside of the Gwen. And I looked away. Hold up. Let's see. Let's see. There comes the Morgana from behind. Level 9 Victor stepping up to level 12 Gwen. Bad idea from that alone, only to be caught out by the Dark Binding. As first tower does go to Gwen, Ashe will be caught out. Stun landed. Wukong stun. Seraphine ultimate comes out. Hits Wukong. Here comes the recast ultimate for the knockup. Won't get much out of that. Another flash coming in from the Morgana. Does land the binding on a Wukong to kill to a kill for the Seraphine. TK Gamers putting some tremendous work on this, on their pick potential. As Morgana and Seraphine just rounding up around the Victor. Afraid to walk back because Morgana does have her Soul Shackles off cooldown. There goes the tower, and there goes the Victor. Will not get a second crash from the Rift Herald, but that is okay. And the rest of their champs want to engage, which is already tough versus the TK draft. Yes. Ashe is very notorious from preventing enemies from being able to step up to her, you know, provided she doesn't get hit by a Nivea Q. But that fight kind of went in their favor regardless, thanks to the pick on the Wukong thereafter. But laning phase will be coming to a close here soon. Gwen is strong. Second item almost finished. Just needs a bit more gold for it. I believe that will be a Shadow Flame second. I forget if it was 1200 gold to finish. Ooh. Was that a Mikhail? No, it was not a Mikhail. He just got out of that pretty decent quick. CLT, nice evasion on the Echoed Seraphine E and the Ashe Arrow alike. However, won't stop TK Gamers from getting this here third dragon, possibly uncontested. Looks like there might be a steal avenue being looked at, but I don't think it's going to be too aggressively looked onto. TK's vision over the wall is gone. Wukong comes in, does not manage the steal. That was a smite at 1280. Wait, yeah, that was a smite. Good, good. Very nice timing from Poke Archer. As Standby is trying to catch up to the opponents in hammer stance, taking a lot of hurt, but thankfully the durability he has available to him in hammer form is considerable. However, Ashe will be getting caught alongside two allies and Nico ult, but not enough damage to follow up upon them, as Nico and Maokai will be going down not long after. Victor as well getting chased down by the Gwen. And this is not looking hot. for TK, as CLT does manage to avoid the Ash Arrow, but will get landed onto by the Seraphine ultimate chaining from her allies. As Olive sitting there level 10, not quite sure what he can do. Substantial level advantage on TK Gamer's side. Bit hard to play in this state, which I believe that CLT and Maokai are the only ones of notable level what's the word? Okay, just ignore that train of thought. But Wukong just hit his level 11. You need more levels to be put onto Victor, but it's very hard to get that solo lane XP when it's Gwen pressuring him. Gwen's teleport is up. Baron is up as well, however. Jace looks to be the one moving for a counter to Victor's bot lane. Split, pressuring him off. Victor's still 1 minion away from level 11. He's just so weak right now. He had that very good early advantage, but unfortunately it went awry. Ooh, pick incoming. They don't know. Alright, Nico Root came out. Did not land. Fortunately, her damage just isn't high enough. There comes the Ash Arrow into the Seraphine ultimate. That is a Nico pick. However, 2 moving on to the Ash, who dies not long after. Wukong, however, in a bad spot himself, does get landed on by the Dark Binding, only to be taken out by Seraphine. As CLT is trying to get away. That is Gwen chasing him, however. With ultimate active, there is no escape. As the third ultimate does land, she does have plenty of evasion to help catch up. Ooh, Anivia should be able to teleport from this. Nice escape, CLT. Oh, actually, there's the Jace from the rear. Using teleport to get out. Will it be safe? Ooh, close. Star trusting their gut and nearly got it. CLT ping their passive. Wants to hopefully play around their egg if possible, play safe for the time being. Doesn't want to play for the Baron, but at least maintain plenty of farming for his team to manage to equalize this massive gold deficit they're sitting at. Working on his third item. Victor also not having finished his second item. So gold and XP deficit by quite a significant margin. The Seraphine damage is pretty crazy considering the item she has available to her. Not really all that much ability power. Yeah, 143. There's quite a lot of hurt because most of her opponents are pretty darn squishy. Wukong and Jace fighting it out over here with Wukong and with Maokai to provide support as well. Wukong does get hit by the Ash Arrow nearly. Jace escapes with 300 health with Wukong at 200. Fortunate for the Wukong, that will be basically a free Baron for TK Gamers. Should line up significant pressure for them to be taking this Dragon Soul. Ah, hold up. Sorry CLT, this match isn't done yet. Alright, as the Dragon Soul comes up. That will indeed be a very cozy Dragon Soul take. As one could probably assume that this will be their final push. As Gwen will be fighting Maokai down in the bot. Second alt cast, third alt cast. Fully misses, but I don't think it will matter because Gwen was immune one day. Alright, that is a middle tower down. Maokai taken out by allies of TK converging. One inhib down, 2 base towers down, 2 base inhibs down, but not before the entire team of Caster Curse goes down as well. As game 1 goes to TK Gamers. There come the GGs and there goes the tower. A Nexus. GG. Pop up into the next room. Did this lobby bug or was it the draft that bugged? Alright, draft links going out. And it looks like TK Gamers will be blue side with Caster Curse opting for the red. Game 2. Hold up. There. And give me a minute just to fix the sides now. Strong showing from TK in game 1. Caster Curse had a pretty fair early game. TK Gamers early game was struggling a bit, but they came back pretty darn hard. Unfortunately, the early lead from the victor was not able to be made much use of, as he started struggling behind with XP and items alike. The Seraphine and Morgana were both pretty nuts, as well as those cross-map arrows from the Ashe. Gwen was immune. CLT had some extremely good flashes, though, throughout that, and otherwise plays. And despite how strong Gwen got, Maokai did provide a fairly decent matchup throughout that laning phase. As the draft should be starting up here in a sec. Alright, TKG's composition that first match had some extremely good pick potential, which they capitalized heavily off of. They also had very good disengage power, thanks to the Ashe and Seraphine. While Caster Curse was lacking in the engage aisle themselves, they did have Wukong for the dive and Maokai ultimate, but unfortunately the game kind of got away from them before they were able to utilize much of it. Victor and Neeko weren't able to do too much. Neeko had some good ultimates, but unfortunately didn't really have a team alongside her to capitalize on them at times, which is unfortunate for them. But considering the game state, it's kind of hard to really, say that there was much of a chance for that to happen. It was at around a 10k gold lead for a fair bit of time. Alright, Victor actually banned this game. First pick Yuumi to TKG. Why, guys? Please don't show me a Yuumi mid with a Kayn jungle again, please. I don't want my brain to turn to mush again. Alright, as cast a curse, it does lock in Hui. Will that be a mid, bot, or support? We shall see. Okay. You guys can see the draft from the start this time. Good. Alright, there is the Amumu pick from Cast a Curse. Followed by Evelynn from TKG. Oh, nope, not lock yet. Are we seeing some silly picks? Oh, nope. There's the Briar lock. Wait, Yuumi should be able to jump on the Briar as she's whizzing past her, right? And there is the Sivir lock for TKG's final first set pick. Followed up by Varus. Not sure about the Varus into Sivir, provided the heavy aggression Sivir is able to put out. And, her spell shield can kind of block his Q quite easily. And ult. Like, spell shields are pretty darn baneful to Varus. That is totally a word, I swear. Alright, next round of bans come out. Neeko taken out after that last match. They saw how plentiful those Neeko ults were at catching their target and didn't want to have to play around that any longer. As Caster takes out Sylas and K'Sante. With a Malphite to finish. Ugh. Malphite to finish TK's picks. Right. Pick round 2. We got Renata for the counter engage into the Briar. But what are the other picks going to be? Because you could still see a front-to-back setup, which, while still not detrimental for Renata, there's Tahm Kench. That raises pick power somewhat. Opted for the Cho'Gath, a different set of noms. To some, it may be seen as more respectable. To others, they have Yuumi. So, to each their own. Ooh. The Bard Hover. Opting for Alistar instead. That is a very, very beefy front line for the Sivir to work around. Honestly, I kind of want to see... I kind of suspect we're going to see a lot of tower diving from TKG. That is kind of the bulk that you want to see for such things. But that set pick into it feels like it might be a bit dangerous. Alright, so that should be a mid lane Hui. It could still be a mid lane Varus, but probably unlikely. While... Wait. Is that Cho'Gath or Alistar mid? Alright. Game 2 will be starting up here shortly. Just waiting for teams to get their positions fixed. And then we will be underway with the real draft. Right, so I don't know what to think of TKG's team comp. They've showcased how good they can actually perform, but not quite sure how cohesive it is. We will see, however, in time. You do have a Cho'Gath into a set and an Alistar into a set. So, like, there is a lot of you probably don't want to stand there tools that Set has at his disposal. He is also there with true damage to counteract Alistar's ult, if needed. I don't think we have enough outright, like, oh, I got a message. One second. May have Pugsley joining in here. Oh no. No! 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 Why? Why? Why is there Yuumi mid again? Why? Stop doing this, please!
I saw the draft and I didn't believe that was a Yuumi mid. Have they done this before? I didn't see.
Yesterday, or not yesterday, the previous stream that I did, there was a Yuumi mid with a Kayn jungle. Why? Why? The Kayn was like at 10 CS per minute all game, but like after the third wave they took mid, every minion was worth like 1 to 3 gold, and jungle gets a 80% XP penalty on lane minions once they have, or in general, I think. I'm not sure if they need like the penalty the way the support gets their penalty for gold, in terms of how jungler CS penalty works, or it might just be the jungler item that enables it initially until they finish the item. But still, why? I have a feeling that the strategy is possibly to make use of the current bounty system. But, like, looking at that, last match that I saw this take place, like the bounties on their opponents like took some time to come up. However, the difference is that at least there is a team to work it around, because like, you know, you do have Alistar and Cho'Gath as the front line. You have a Briar and Sivir for damage output. That's a lot of physical damage though into an Amumu and a Set, so it could be dangerous. Like, especially with how much power Set has into high health tanks. But boy, why?
That's a fair analysis. I will say, not taking into consideration the fact that there's a Yuumi mid with essentially an assassin jungler, or a drain tank, however you want to categorize Briar, I think it puts way too much pressure on Sivir when there's so many Sivir shutdown tools. The amount of CC in the comp from the Caster Curse, obviously Amumu, but with things like Renata, that spell shield will not last very long for the Sivir. And I think it just puts way too much pressure on the Sivir to perform. And while, in theory, niche little things like this can work, I just don't think it's repeatable enough to have confidence in.
But the only facet that I feel like this could work well in is if Bori feels themselves to basically be a god in micro-positioning in this match. Because you got Verisalt to worry about, you got Hui's entire kit to worry about, you got a Mumu to worry about.
Yeah, I don't know if Guma Yushi is, you know, taking a nice little, like, learning what he can from NA amateur leagues, but if it's not Guma Yushi, I would be very concerned, because like you said, you need the micro positionings is so big. Even with the Yuumi on him and support champs with him, like Alistar and Cho'Gath, it's just... it's not enough. And on top of it, even if it is an AP Cho'Gath, which it kind of needs to be to have damage spread difference there. Otherwise, just between Briar and Sivir, late game you get into a Set Amumu. How are you killing that? It's so one-dimensional to me.
Well, the Amumu, it kind of depends, because at least in the matches that I've casted, I've seen Amumus generally build AP over tank. As much as I feel that AP is more suitable for like solo queue strats. Cooperative play, you definitely want tank atmosphere. Like Liandry's is fine for the most part, but otherwise you definitely do need that durability usually.
Sorry to cut you off, but with Varus Hui, I just don't understand why you like don't scale and play for super long in this game, especially with the weird team comp they're going up against. I understand that Sivir late game is also very scary, but you don't want like, you don't need to build AP Amumu, and like you said, it's not solo queue, so I don't expect them to. I don't even expect them to even build the Liandry's on him, and so if they do opt for that tank because that's better suited for the late game for them, they really should be playing into the Hui Varus late game and just securing it. And can you tell me who won this? Who won game one? Who's in the lead here?
Game 1 was won by TK Gamers.
Ah man, this is gonna be a 3-game series. Okay.
Don't forget, they're going up against Caster Curse, so.
And can you also give me access to this in Discord so I'm not
Oh,
watching the delayed stream?
My bad.
Nope, that's totally okay. And
There
then
you go.
also, you okay if I play by play?
Yeah.
Cool, sounds good.
Alright, so it looks like Caster Curse tried to go for an early game play, but they got caught out by Vision Ward inside the Tribush.
Classic slamming the bell. Classic. Needs more cowbell. That's what this comp needs. More cowbell. If they can get the cowbell, they might be able to pull it out.
In regards to the damage availability, by the way, don't forget the Unending Despair is an item that exists, and considering Cho'Gath is a very strong late game scaler, you can probably expect to see about 2,000 to 3,000 damage per fight late game if it does get to that point from that item alone. So
Very true. Nice big trade by the Cho'Gath up there, though. I mean, by the set into the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath able to get some damage back onto him. I'm not the best at analyzing the top lane matchup. Do you have any thoughts here? I would think that in lane, Cho'Gath, pre-6, I would favor Cho. Post-6, maybe sets all in. Tough to say.
Cho'Gath outscales every top laner, is basically what it is. He may not always beat them reliably early on. Ooh, and Amumu had a lot of pressure put onto him early on. A flash from Alistar, but not going to be enough.
Yeah, Amumu's 2 here. That's the thing, is you do see that Diablo Fox had the level 2 before Bori did, so it really did look much better. So good on the Tahm Kench boys to secure a 1-for-1 there when it didn't look like they were in any favorable position from what I could see.
Alright, so Yuumi at the very least opting to actually stay in lane for some point, rather than last match that I spectated with kind of on Kayn from the get-go, which I didn't even realize that Yuumi existed in that match until about 8 minutes in, when I just had my mental destroyed. Oh, she went heal smite to help with those objective securing.
Which makes sense, because if you are opting for this, I think early dragon stacking is absolutely a priority in these weird comps. Like when you think back to like the roaming Janna top lane with the smite, the whole point was to get the dragon stacking. That's why you brought the Janna down. That's why it was a viable thing in that weird obscure meta in, I believe, 2022. But so it makes sense that the Yuumi does have the smite here.
However, I wonder whether instead of smite it might be better to get spellbook, but I guess that would just be more so for late game stuff, actually.
Fair. Amumu Bandit tosses in here, but with the Alistar, should be able to tank. Nice pull from the Renata. Gonna be able to secure the kill for the way onto the Alistar. We have a 600 gold lead here for the Caster Curse, and not to be biased here, I expect it to continue growing.
Cho'Gath top
nice.
lane being pretty comfy though.
Yeah, this very nice all in there by the Briar with the Yuumi on her. Makes easy work of the Amumu. We do have the dragon spawning in 28 seconds, but with it being this early, the Amumu is already up.
A lot of hurt.
Really nice Renata poke and pull execution there. That one that she just had a few seconds ago is, I think, her first miss.
Probably because she was using it max distance. It's really hard to land those that far on Renata.
Yeah, really well played, forcing that tower shot onto the Briar down to about 25%. Varus not able to hit the empowered Q there to get further chunk damage. Amumu is in the area as he's hovering around here. They don't have vision, but that does force the Yuumi and the Briar out of here.
Ooh, full true damage. But Cho should be able to sustain that pretty well. His 6 is nearly here.
Yeah, and he does have Ignite up, so keep that in mind. So especially if he hits 6 first, like, well, regardless if that happens or not, what matters is he does have that Ignite. So he has Flash, Ult, Ignite. I personally would like to see him use it, but we do see Set here being very, very careful. And Set with no TP, so gonna be nice grub prio here for the Kenchies.
Yep, nice stack for the Cho'Gath.
Very true. Very true.
Gets to ignore the penalty for eating minions.
Yeah, and we now have essentially an even gold game here, so
Cho'Gath
very
technically
nice.
in a higher gold value lead against Set thanks to the ult.
Yeah, true.
The scaling begins.
Yeah, also a pretty substantial CS difference for this early in the game in the top lane. Very notable.
Mm-hmm. And considering, you know, as I said earlier, Cho'Gath just kind of outscales the vast majority of top laners. With this much of a lead early on, he doesn't need to worry about outscaling, but because it kind of feels like he already is going to have the like the hard advantage. Because once Cho'Gath has that advantage, you should be able to see a pretty notable like difference in damage output. Like even though he's taking these hits, the sustain he gets from his passive alone is like massive. So he is very willingly accepting these trades.
Very, very true. That phenomenal analysis there. And Cho ult's almost back up here with the Ignite, so he is the level 7. He might be able to get a true all-in win here against this Set if Set's not careful.
Not quite at the kill threshold yet, I don't think. I want to believe that Set would need to be around 60% in order to drop low enough.
60% was, yeah, no W shield, so as long as he can, like, bait the W or play around the chunking, yeah, W's down.
Yep.
He has Ignite. Now would be a good time to use it. Wei ult is used mid to kind of force the Briar and Yuumi take a little pressure off there. Wei was fairly low health, relatively speaking.
Set does have his ultimate, so it is a bit danger zone for the Cho'Gath as well.
Yeah, really nice all in there for the Set. Able to force the flash out of the Cho'Gath, so trade flash for Fash and execute there, execute the play. And we do see the Kenchers securing the objectives around the map. Very, very important to what they're trying to do, although they are down 700 gold right now due to that top lane fight. 2 objectives though, they're gonna feel good there. And also, both kills on the side of the Kenchers are on the only 2 champs that can really do damage in their team. So, very important that they are executing the comp to, like, if those kills weren't on those champs, they'd be in deep trouble right now.
Indeed. At least the Briar play has actually been coming in pretty decently thus far. Cho'Gath taking a death, I don't think is going to set him back too far. They are, you know, on... Or, well, Set does have a slight XP advantage with that wave, but not really too big.
See a top lane roam to the mid here. They might be able to get a nice flank onto this Wei. Wei has no flash. Nice Briar ult right onto him. He's going to get destroyed there. And that's going to be a lot of assists too, because... mind you, you don't really think about assist gold. I do, and when you bring the top lane to a gank there, that is extra gold that's normally not going to the team. So things like that add up and matter if you can continue to do them as part of your game plan. And Cho'Gath gonna come right back to the top lane, not miss a beat.
Mm-hmm. Not quite a crash at the very least, but does have a nice, healthy slow push going on.
Yeah, this Alistar is sacrificing his life for the chickens there as Set. Oh, nice flash, but he misses the bandage toss. I think Briar should be able to get out of this as Yuumi pops her ult to keep the Briar alive there. And also, chat is saying, I don't know why they didn't pick Lulu mid over Yuumi, and the argument for Yuumi is someone who actually plays Lulu mid and really likes the pick and think it's actually a very strong pick, especially in like non-true pro play. The Yuumi allows the constant roam of the map on the Briar to make the Briar so beefy. So that's the devil's advocate, I would say.
I guess the reason would also be that Wei is kind of going to be perma-pushed up unless he actually freezes the lane himself. But if he freezes the lane, that means Yuumi might be able to see us unless he like zones him off. Which, you know, he could, but... Every time Yuumi does get to a point that it might possibly get frozen, she does have someone swinging around to help crash it, so...
Very true. We do see Wei in the bot lane now, able to push in that wave. The Caster Curse able to secure the grubs, which I think is probably one of the most influential things that have happened this game that will determine how the rest of the game goes. Because, like I said, stacking those objectives, having them is very important to the Kench's game plan. Not having those mites on something like the Sivir to really accelerate the Sivir once we really hit the mid game, it matters. And denying those other 3 grubs really matters as Briar pops her ult in the bot lane here, goes all in on the way. She has the Yuumi on her, makes quick work of him, but she's taking tower shots. She might be dead, and she is dead. Way able to get the shutdown onto Briar here. 1 for 1. Nothing really else. All in all, I think that Caster Curse wins that little trade there.
Way getting a lot of gold denied from him isn't too bad, however. There wasn't a there was a bounty actually, 237
There was.
gold. Oof.
Yeah, that's a big old bounty for this early.
Yeah. Surprising to see that high. Ooh, hold up, backing up.
Yeah, so, oh yeah, nice Sivir ult as we do see the Alistar flash and go in. Yuumi popping the ult there. So like I said, the play of the Sivir is going to be really, really important here. And both ADCs are able to get a kill there, but Sivir's really getting these plates, which really matters. Let's see if she continues, and she's continuing to be very aggressive. Let's see how aggressive she wants to be, and she decides to back off there.
Oh, there was another kill. Well, let's see that. I just keep falling behind these kills, man.
Hey, you're okay. Yeah, this should be pretty easy work. Like, he has no mana. She had to flash to really secure it, but don't know what Amumu's there trying to stack gold that is.
She
at
used
this
her
point in the
flash,
game-
and Amumu used his ultimate, so kind of fair.
Fair.
And don't worry,
Yeah.
past a certain point, Briar kind of 3 shots, even through a tank. And yeah, we see the Leandri's first buy on the Amumu.
Very true. Yeah, we do. I personally I'm not in favor of that decision, but we'll see how it works out for them, especially when you have something like Hwei and even a Renata in the game. I just don't think the damage that the Amumu is doing is super important. And with something like a Yuumi on the Briar, that extra damage to me is just irrelevant. You have the sustain from the Yuumi, but they're really gonna try to bait this. Briar does go, and she does have the Yuumi on her, but she should be able to get a kill. Renata really doing damage, she saves the Varus there, able to turn that completely on its head. Caster Curse able to win that fight there as Dragon spawning, should be able to turn that into a dragon. This is looking like it might be a long game. God, continuing fighting here. I mean, the Yuumi is on Bori here as Bori's trying to escape. Steps back, but also after flashing, walks right back into the fight, able to play so well, so critically. Completely wins that trade, gets all in all 3 kills there, 3 for nothing for the side of the Kinchers. They aren't going to turn that into Dragon or Herald quite yet. That it's a 3 for nothing. That's very, very important here. And
Yeah.
that turns the gold lead into 2,500 out of nowhere.
Sivir being solo health when Hwei exists is a bit dangerous to your Dragon on.
Very true, but all in all, I mean, excellent S+ tier play by the Sivir there.
Definitely.
Bori really, thus far, having a great season in this league, and really happy to see a really nice play from them there. It's the 2nd game of cast to them, and I've been or 3rd series, I believe.
The Yuumi actually coming in pretty well there, thanks to, you know, the healing and extra damage on hit. Basically an Ardent Sensor and a champion. I guess it's better than a death cap on a champion than it used to be, but, you know.
Yeah.
Yuumi hate is always welcome here.
Yes. Yeah, the Caster Curse able to secure the 2nd dragon in this game, which gives us a Hextech Soul, which is by far the best possible soul that the Kinchers could have asked for. So, that's going to be super duper important for whoever can start stacking them, because obviously that's very important on the Varus, especially when it looks like it's going to be an attack speed, or not, it looks like it's going to be, it is an attack speed Varus here. So those Hextech Drakes are going to be great for both teams. Alistar may have got himself caught here, but Briar hits the long range, hold on to the Amumu, forces the flash out, but he bandage tosses in and ults just to sacrifice himself, but somehow Hwei picks up the kill, the double kill. so far 2 for nothing in favor of Caster Curse here.
And Set will be getting some free tower up top, as well as the CS, since Cho'Gath is just hovering down the bottom end.
Yeah, across the map, you would think, based on what you just said and what just happened, is Cho'Gath is here with these guys really low.
The
Sivir
Mobies.
pops are ult, yeah, and the Mobies too, so they're able to secure there, get a double.
Unfortunately,
but-
Yuumi got one of the kills. Ooh, Varus looking to go down here, maybe?
Yeah, he's dead.
Mobies
The-
Cho'Gath. There's the flash.
Yep. Right now, yeah, and Set is able to secure that turret gold onto himself there. This gold lead has dwindled a little bit, but until they do something about this Sivir, I have all my faith in the Kinshers from this point forward, because that Sivir is a monster. She's at 8k gold.
Yep. Well, so in regards to any gold differentials in this match, you always have to keep in mind that there is they basically have 2 supports on TK's side, so they are ahead by like 3,000 gold at this point, but it's actually a bit more considering the gold is actually being skewed into the Cho'Gath, Briar, and Sivir respectively. So those gold value leads are even more substantial than they seem. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear.
Really like that's really witty there. Alistar getting right in the middle of this fight here. This fight is so split, I don't even know where to begin. They are trying to take down the Sivir. They are able to secure the kill on the Sivir. So far, it is a 2 for 1 in favor of the Kinshers across the map. Their only carry that they have alive right now is Briar, and she's able to make quick work of the Varus. Should be able to get another kill onto this Wei, but Wei is able to take down the Alistar in return. Overall, a 5 for 2 in favor of the Kinch. They drop the Herald, should be able to blow this game wide open.
Yuumi just walking all the way back after the blast cone. That was a pretty darn hard fight to keep track of. Like 3 screens away of combat from a fight that began on 1.
I know, yeah. Once Alistar was in the middle, and then they started focusing the Sivir on the other end, I was like, this is just a split fight. Like, you can't even cast that, like, very well. It's just pick your poison.
But Sivir did do a pretty good job surviving as long as they could. But
True.
yeah, it just a smidge more, and they could have gotten a lot more out of that. But they still got a plenty. Lead expanded even more. Briar sitting on 2 finished items, still a bit far from a third. But Sivir's also basically at the same point. So much damage output her team is able to do.
Yeah, Amumu feeling really, really zealous there and goes in their own jungle while they know the Sivir's there. Very interesting call that the Yuumi's on the Cho'Gath here. Briar's able to hit the long range ult behind the turret and kill the Renata, so a lot going in favor of Kinch there. This Briar's still harassing this this Varus, so they're gonna be able to secure the 2nd tier bot turret as well. Dragon is spawning in 15 seconds, so should be able to turn that into a very nice dragon, starting to stack those hex stacks to the side of Kinch. But another fight in the top lane here. We have Cho'Gath going 1-1 on this set. Set already blew his W, blows his ult, gets blown. Alistar under the turret. Alistar is the new MVP of this game. That was a sick alley play.
Man, that Cho'Gath damage is just so crazy. He's building AP items. He's building mobility specifically.
That's crazy.
Dead Man's Shurelya's and Moby Boots. Oh man, that is disgusting.
Yeah, this Briar's a problem as she blows up the Renata there. But yeah, you're so right. And this Cho'Gath also has a Seeker's Arm Guard, so he has the utility to stall for his cooldowns mid-fight. So while he can run it, you blow his cooldowns. If you target him, he's just gonna zone you and have his cooldowns right back up. So Right here, right on the Wolves, Kinshers are able to catch the Amumu. That's one after taking the Dragon here. So they're still fighting on this blue side jungle of the Caster Curse. Hwei able to get a nice shutdown onto the Briar, which is humongous gold on him, but he's going to sacrifice his life and the life of the set as well. 3 for 1, but that bounty gold does feel nice on the Hwei. Doesn't really matter when you're down 8k.
Alright, so I got to thinking, what's the game plan of Cho'Gath here? Building a lot of this mobility and not really much magic resistance. So I feel like he considers I don't know. I think he just wants to delete either Hwei or Varus to get out of the fight. Hwei ideally. Or even a Mumu, really. Any one of those three, if he takes out, he's basically fine. And he has plenty of health that because Varus is not building AP, he's going to take forever to kill eventually. Especially at the rate that he's going. He's sitting at 9 stacks at this point at 22 minutes. So much free health.
Yeah,
like,
and
his
these
damage output is...
Sorry, you can go.
His damage output is just progressively getting like stronger and stronger. His durability is just naturally growing intense. They're aiming for a Baron angle at this point, maybe, or just getting the pressure, maybe going for a pick. Hwei coming out. Are we gonna see the zoomies?
And yeah, Cho'Gath just popping the Shurelya's there and running at him. But the point to not having the MR on the Cho'Gath, I think, when you have something like a Yuumi and you do have that inherent sustain, obviously like Cho'Gath's infinite scaling, something like the Yuumi is kind of counteracts the, like, you can sacrifice your resist a little bit because you have that inherent heals if needed. So really interesting play here. Amumu bandage toss is in, trying to get them off the Baron. He's gonna sacrifice his life for it. You see Yuumi ult come out. The set sacrifices his life for it too. 2 for nothing in favor of the Kinchers. They are really low here, but they should still be able to do this Baron because they have a Yuumi. They have a Briar who's going to be full health in a second. And they're just clearing vision. Ali's going to pop this blast cone behind the Baron. There shouldn't be really anything they can do unless, like I said, we have Gumayusi on this team and he can snipe.
Looks like it should be a definitive Baron at this point. Hwei steps up too much, he might just die. There comes the attempt to steal.
Yeah, Briar blown her. Oh, is she going for the Varus? Oh my god,
She went for something, and it could have been bad, but it ended up neither. Alright, next dragon coming up in a minute and a half. You got plenty of time to make a play with this Baron buff. Ooh, man, 400 gold bounty on Yuumi, no deaths.
Yep.
Got that Mikael. So there's so much safety. So the bane of Varus is spell shields. And not only that, you got a Mikael's to work around too. So his ultimate is very functionally hard to actually utilize effectively.
Very true.
Mumu finally starting to angle into defenses. Going for Thornmail first, so he's incredibly susceptible to the Cho'Gath in any engagement here.
Yeah, well, it's tough for me to like give input to this game that's not already like inherently obvious. Like when you're down 11k gold, it's just too much of an advantage that I genuinely don't even know what the plan would be outside of hoping that the other team grieves. So let's see if they're gonna able to get any slight win trades here. This frontline Cho'Gath, yeah, this Sivir's so big now too. Cho'Gath flashing in, forces the flash out of the Varus. Varus not having flash now is going to be so vulnerable when you have things like a Briar that can get him. Nice whale, but it does go on the Alistar, so now they're not going to have any really big AoE damage for this, essentially a death ball comp. That's flash out of way too, so should be a game that's. We're looking at the end of this game, I think.
It does seem to be looking like it. They might back up for the dragon, but I don't think they actually have to.
They don't. I don't think they have to either. You have a Briar and a Yuumi. and Cho'Gath has ult back up. So
There
Mumu
comes the
Banished
Amumu
tosses
ult,
in.
but no one to follow up with.
Yeah, and well said. Yeah, Cho'Gath with his ult, like I said, able to ult. They're gonna get a triple inhib here at minimum. Nice Briar ult, able to take down the Varus. They don't have anything on the side of Caster Curse. We're looking at a nice 2-0 from the side of the Tahm Kench gamers. Not the Kencher Benchers, or the other Kench team. These are the Tahm Kench gamers. These guys are gaming.
Cho'Gath does go down to the Liandry and Blackfire Torch ticks. The lack of MR showing pretty heavily right there.
Yeah, and now that after doing triple inhib, now they are gonna opt to go get that third dragon and take their jungle here. They're not even gonna take the jungle. They don't even care. They're so far ahead. They said you can take your blue buff. We're cool. We'll throw you that bone.
There's 3 inhibs down. If they go for that blue buff, they're just letting a lane die. They got
Very
ample
true.
time.
Yeah. There's outside of someone on the side of Tahm Kench, or someone on the side of Caster Curse Venmoing someone on the side of Tahm Kench to throw this game, I don't know how they win.
14k gold both on the 80 carry and Briar. Looking very hard here. Oh, I had the music playing this entire time. Crap. I don't even notice sometimes. Alright. Moving in for the final push, more than likely. No soul, but they don't really need it. Cho'Gath taking out the Amumu.
Blows him up. Yeah, how many stacks does the Cho'Gath have this game? Let's get a counter on that.
11.
Not bad.
In the past 5 minutes, he got 2 stacks.
Yeah, really well played from the Kenchers.
Lasagnas! Triple knock-up.
I don't think this comp is reliable. I think they played it in the exact way I thought they had to, which is snowball a Sivir, snowball Briar, and win the game after you've just absolutely gotten those champs outrageous leads. But I personally think that once we get into like playoffs, teams will be able to game plan around that.
I feel like Tahm Kench Gamers just kind of wanted to show how you're supposed to run Yuumi mid. As much as I hate it, she actually was like close enough to her opposing mid laner in gold. She was even on XP, and her team was actually built well enough to do something against the enemy team. Like, Cho'Gath is a threatening champion, like ridiculously so. You get close to him, he either slows you or silences you. You get hit by his knockup that's like on a 4-second cooldown, if not a bit shorter in like mid-late phase game. You're dead, usually. And his scalings are linked to both AP and health, and it's so disastrous to try to even attempt to get away from him. And then you don't have any actually good answers to his health. Like, Set can make use of his health, but he wasn't able to secure a good lead in the early game. He was losing significantly in CS at that point, which was very unfortunate. So he wasn't able to actually win in the early phase, which let Cho'Gath have an early game and then propel his late game even further than usual. And the Sivir just did exceptionally well throughout the match.
Yeah, that fight on the red side jungle of Tahm Kench when Sivir flashed back and then stepped forward and got a 3-0, that was the turning point in the game. They got a 2.5 gold lead off of that, and they never gave it up. The micro positioning, as you mentioned before the game even started by the Sivir, and that specific fight, that is where that came into play. Micro positioned exceptionally well. Got a 3-0 and won the game off of it. And it's a strategy. I'm not saying it's not. I just think when you're putting all your eggs in the I'm going to outplay you basket, you're going to get bit at some point.
But considering AD carry is the role where you kind of want to have those skills owned, I think it's kind of a fair limit test for them to go against.
Yeah, and when you have a Yumi on you, that's that's when you can have an ego as an AD carry. Like AD carry without a Yumi, I don't want the ego. Give me a Yumi, you're God. You know what I mean? Like you should feel
Well-
like you're God when you. That's what Yumi should make you feel like.
Any enchanter with a move speed boost can generally do that. Like, I've played matches of Varus with a Lulu on me, and those you also feel as if you're kind of unstoppable at a point. Enemies jump on you, yacht Lulu ult. Enemies get close, they get polymorphed. You're going on a killing spree, you get your attack speed, move speed steroided. Have fun. Also want to say it was really funny to see the Cho'Gath stack up so much mobility items, considering they are going against a Hui and Varus. Like, all they needed to do was avoid stuff. Like, yeah, Cho'Gath wants to absorb damage a lot of the time, but when you could just sidestep it instead,
Yeah.
you basically have an invisible health bar bigger than your actual health bar.
Yeah, and if you aren't consciously thinking about the tools he has in specific, the tool that you're referring to, his move speed, if you aren't actively conscious about it, you will lose to it, like you said, because it is an invisible advantage that not typically, you would really never ever see in any other Cho'Gath. But in this Cho'Gath, he was ready to run.
Alright, with that, we'll be calling it for the night. Very great performance from Tahm Kench Gamers, and hope Caster Curse got a lot to learn from those matches. Anything you'd like to say before we finish up?
No, I'm really happy that I chose to cast that last game, and really happy to see the innovation in this league. Obviously, things like Yumi Mid didn't originate in this league, but really nice to see the just real creativity of what League of Legends can be, and when you get really good players, just the sky's the limit. And I'm really happy to be a part of this, and really looking forward to seeing the rest of the year.
Alright, with that, hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Stay safe through this snowstorm, however heavy it is. If you had your works canceled, enjoy it. If you had your whatever delayed, enjoy it. Have fun.
Very true. GG's.
Alright.